What up, Homedawgs? My name is Gokey Gamer, and welcome everybody to not the Milwaukee Medichams draft breakdown for the IBA, but the Milwaukee Medichams draft breakdown for the Eon World Tournament, or EWT for short. However, before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you guys so freaking much for helping me hit the big 250 on YouTube, the 250 subscribers. Woo! Seriously, that is absolutely amazing, and it truly means the world to me that you guys want to support me so much, you guys enjoy my content and all the fun stuff, and yeah, hopefully I can continue to improve my work. I apologize for taking so long to upload videos recently, but I promise you this, I am currently working on a bunch of other projects that will be coming up on YouTube, and I think you guys are going to very much enjoy what I have in store for you guys, so yeah, be looking forward to it. I will be making a 250 subscribers special video type thing, similar to what I did with 100 subscribers, where I will be going over the plans that I have for the celebration of hitting 250, and what the channel is going to be like moving forward, so keep an eye out for that. But, in the meantime, I say let's continue on with this video. So, for those of you guys who have no idea what I'm talking about, basically, I got accepted into the Eon World Tournament as a backup coach about a month or two ago. And what that means is I was on standby in case somebody had to drop out for whatever reason. Well, as it turns out, one of the coaches did end up having to drop out, so they asked me to take his place, to which I said, absolutely freaking lowly yes! So yeah, I am very super excited to be taking part in this league. I cannot wait for these battles. In fact, actually, as of the time of this recording, I've already had my week 2 battle, so that's exciting. Be looking forward to that on Sunday. But, yeah, I'm very excited to be part of this league, so woo! So, you might be asking yourself, well, what is the EWT? What are the rules? Well, basically, the EWT is a 7-week-long season, has a 7-week-long regular season, where there are 12 coaches altogether, and only the top 6 coaches make it to playoffs. It's a singles battle league that also doesn't allow the use of Dynamax or Gigantamax Pokemon, so it makes for some very entertaining matches. So the team that I ended up taking over was Onesie Bayonet's team, and not gonna lie, the team that he left me was pretty daggum busted. However, the other new coach who goes by It's and I were given double of the base free agent swaps and trades for 24 hours, which meant that we were allowed to make 6 free agent swaps and 10 trades. This was so we could shape the team the way we wanted, just in case a particular team did not fit our particular playstyle, so that way we wouldn't be put at a disadvantage compared to the other players. So, there were some mons that I decided to swap from this broken team. So, here's the old team that I was given, and here are the Pokemon that I decided to keep. So, what I'm going to be doing in this directly is briefly go over the Pokemon that I decided to keep. I won't be going over every single strat that I can do with those Pokemon, but I will be giving a brief synopsis about them, why I think they're a good fit for this team, or my particular playstyle, or both, and yeah, just pretty much that'll be it. So, let's go ahead and rapid fire it. Not really, but you get my point. So when I first saw the team, I immediately saw a ton of Rain Team potential with Pokemon like Pelipper, Ferrothorn, and Beartick. So I decided that I would center my team mainly around being a Rain team, and I also decided that there were some holes that I saw in the team that I really wanted to change and adjust, so that way it would give me a bit more of an advantage, a bit more well-rounded team, even though it's mainly Rain team. So as a result, the first Pokemon that I knew I was going to keep was Popeye the Pelipper. So Pelipper is obviously the best rain setter in the current metagame, with his Drizzle ability and defensive bulk, with being base 100 defense, and then can also hit really hard with a base 95 special attack. He also gets some pretty powerful moves to max out his special attack, like Surf, Hurricane, and Ice Beam, and is also a great defog and roost user as well. While it is mainly a rain supporter set, Pelipper is nothing to laugh at. It can still be a really powerful Pokemon if used correctly, so hopefully I'll be able to use it correctly. Moving on to the second Pokemon that I decided to keep, being Spike the Ferrothorn. Spike is actually one of the best physical walls in the current game, with 131 in the base defense, as well as his ability Iron Barbs, which damages opponents when they make physical contact with that Pokemon. It also has a really good attack stat at 94 and amazing special defense as well at 116. The fact that it gets spikes and stealth rocks along with its natural bulk also makes it a fantastic hazard setter that I'm very excited to use as well. And the big reason why Ferrothorn benefits a lot from Rain is that it really weakens the fire-type moves that are 4 times effective versus Ferrothorn. Now, in terms of Mr. Vish the Dracovish, nothing much needs to be said about the moves that he typically runs. Choice Scarf, Fishy Trend, Strong Jaw, 75 base speed, Stab Water, also boosted in the rain, is literally one of the most broken Pokemon in the metagame right now. However, that said, it is not unbeatable. Things like faster Scarfers, priority moves, and Focus Sash users all can put a dent into the typical Dracovish Choice Scarf strat. However, it is still worth noting that Dracovish still has some really good defensive stats, being 100 in defense, 90 in HP, and 80 in special defense, as well as one of the best defensive typings in the game, being weak to only Dragon, Fairy, and the move Freeze Dry, makes it a really good defensive mon that can almost always take a hit, and then combine that with its really high attack stat, which I cannot remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it is 90, or 80, it's either 80 or 90, I apologize. But all of that combined still makes it a really threatening Pokemon to deal with. Dracovish actually has really good chemistry with a lot of the other Pokemon on this list, including Ferrothorn, because of the fact that it can Hazard Set, it can break Sash users, and there's a Sticky Webs user that I have that can lower the speed of Pokemon, making some Scarfers slower than Dracovish, which is also really nice. So, basically, what I'm trying to say here is Dracovish will be taking a bite out of your team whether you like it or not. Pun very much intended. Speaking of Sticky Webs, our Sticky Web user is actually Galvantula. Now, believe it or not, Bug Eyes the Galvantula was actually the hardest Pokemon to decide whether I wanted to keep or swap it with a different Pokemon. The Pokemon that I had in mind for swapping out Galvantula with was actually Vikavolt, another Bug Electric type in the exact same tier as the Vikavolt. Exact same typing, just bulkier and a lot slower. The reason I decided to keep Galvantula was because I really wanted to have a fast Mon, because my fastest Mon at the time was around base 97. That was the fastest Mon that I had, so I really wanted something above base 100 speed, as well as I wanted a fast Sticky Webs user, since that's primarily what I would use it for in terms of as a support Mon. Now, I'm not saying that I won't use it as an offensive Mon. I have been known to do funny strats like that, but for a Sticky Webs user, I figured Galvantula would be a lot more beneficial than Vikavolt. All of that being said, Galvantula can still hit really hard with its base 97 attack, and with its ability Compound Eyes, it basically makes it able to use Thunder a lot more frequently than a lot of other electric types. Combine that with Rain, and I don't even need to run Compound Eyes on this thing, but still might in case. But there are also other abilities that I can run too that are definitely worth keeping in mind. And once again, like with Ferrothorn, Fire-type moves that normally hit super effectively are going to be severely weakened in the rain. Now, the last Pokemon that I wanted to keep specifically because of rain is Snoots the Beartic. Now, for those of you who don't know, Snoot's hidden ability is actually what's known as Swift Swim. The ability Swift Swim, what it does is it pretty much doubles your speed in rain. So even though Beartic has a base speed of 50, Swift Swim can still outspeed a large number of Pokemon as long as they're not scarfed. Combine that with a whopping 130 base attack stat, this Pokemon was a huge steal considering it's worth literally only 20 points, which is the least amount of points a Pokemon can be worth for this particular team. So I'm very glad that I was left with Beartic, because that gives me a very solid ice user on a rain team. Now you might be saying to yourself,
Gokey, you forgot a Pokemon.
Well, I didn't forget about the Pokemon. This Pokemon just doesn't really benefit from rain a whole lot. And that Mon, which is the last Mon I decided to keep, that I haven't talked about yet, is Grapple-Locked. Worth 40 points, just above Beartic, Box Boy, the Grapple-Locked, was one of the only decent fighting types left on the board, and considering it was at 40 points, I figured, hey, you know, it's kind of a steal, so I'll keep it. I really wanted a fighting type just because it's good against a lot of other typings, such as Dark and Normal in particular. I always like trying to have at least one fighting type Pokemon on my team because it just always comes in handy. Infernape in the SSL as well as Hitmonlee in the IBA are proof of that. And actually, I just realized both of them placed second on my team in terms of differential, and both of them got ranked number 12 overall in terms of differential when you compare all the teams. Coincidence? I think not. And honestly, Grapple-Locked is not that bad of a Pokemon. I think its biggest gripe is that it pretty much only learns fighting moves. However, it has a lot of really good moves on top of that, and it has 115 base attack, as well as pretty decent defenses. So hopefully I'll be able to make use of Box Boy. Hopefully he'll be pretty useful. Hopefully I'll be able to take advantage of that high attack power. So, with the power of deduction and memory, if you guys remember what I had on my team before I did all these trades, the 4 Pokemon that I actually ended up trading off were Haxorus, Indeedee Male, Slurpuff, and Skuntank. Now, I know a couple of those mons are surprising, to say the least, that I made those trades. But I did all these trades for a specific reason, whether I just didn't feel comfortable having it on my team because I didn't think I would be able to use it really well, or whether I didn't want repeat typings, or things like that. I decided to just kind of do these trades for mainly those two reasons, and also because there were some other mons that I really thought would work a lot better on this team. So, now it's time for me to talk about the Pokemon that I got through the free agent swaps, as well as the reasons why I made the swaps in the first place. So, the first trade that I wanted to talk about is Haxorus, which I traded for Diggersby. So, the biggest reason why I made this trade is because I noticed I didn't have a ground type, which meant I didn't have an electric immunity, which meant that my team, considering as a rain team, was extremely weak to electric types. I didn't want my opponent to be guaranteed, oh, I can just bring all electric types and electrocute those water types faster than you say Bob's your uncle. So, I decided to drop Haxorus for the best ground type that was on the field at that current moment in time, which was Diggersby. Now, Long Ears the Diggersby is a pretty good mon with huge power, which doubles its attack stat, even though it's around 158 if I remember correctly. That ends up being doubled, as well as the fact that it just gets a lot of really good offensive moves that hit opponents really super hard. With moves like Earthquake, Quick Attack, and Body Slam, and Stone Edge, and things like that, it can really hit opponents super hard. Iron Head is another one as well, so... And it can run Scarf, it can run Bands, it can run even Berries if you choose to run a Cheek Pouch set, but I don't know why you would want to do that. Maybe I'll run it at some point, you never know. And another reason why I decided to get rid of Haxorus in particular is because I already had a Dragon type that was meant to outspeed things. While Dracovish can't learn Dragon Dance, and Haxorus can, Dracovish is still the better Pokemon in terms of competitive, especially on a rain team in particular. So that's why I decided to get rid of Dracovish, because not only did it repeat typing, it also repeated similar strats, and I was just like, nah, I don't feel like dealing with that today. The second trade that I really wanted to talk about is Skuntank for Qwilfish. This, at least to me personally, was probably the best trade that I made out of the 4 trades that I did end up making, specifically because not only can Qwilfish learn Swift Swim, it still gives me a poison type, it gives me another hazard setter, Toxic Spike setter in particular, and it can just do a whole bunch of fun strats because of Swift Swim on a rain team. Mrs. Puff, shout out to JV for that nickname, really benefits a lot from rain because of Swift Swim, Water Stab, and it outspeeds Pokemon a lot better than Beartick, actually. Rocking out with a base 85 speed, unlike Beartick, it's much easier to outspeed a lot of other Scarfers in the rain, and you basically need to be Scarfed in order to outspeed Qwilfish at all, whereas with Beartick, there are some mons that can still there are a lot of mons actually that can still naturally outspeed Beartick. Qwilfish is definitely an amazing Pokemon to have on this team. I'm very excited to be using it, and definitely probably one of the best trades I've made in my Draft League career so far. Now, the third trade I want to talk about is Slurpuff for Musharna. This one was definitely mostly because of personal reasoning. For those of you who don't know, in the Smelling Salts Draft League Season 1, which was my very first Draft League I ever did, the very cleric that I ended up picking was Aromatisse. And let's just say that I pretty much never used it because it wasn't good on my team and it didn't fit my playstyle at all. I know that Slurpuff is a better version of Aromatisse basically, but I still didn't really feel comfortable using Slurpuff because I knew its best use was as a cleric, and I honestly didn't really feel like having a cleric on my team. Even though a cleric benefits this team better than it did my SSL team, I was like, I don't think so. I think I can do better than this. So, instead, I decided to pick up Musharna. Now, Dreamer, the Musharna, spelled D-R-E-E-M-U-R, let me know if you get the reference, is a very pokey Pokemon with phenomenal HP and special defense, and special attack as well as a pretty decent physical defense, physical defense at 85. It can also function as a cleric because it also gets Heal Bell. It can restore HP with Moonlight, which although it doesn't work really well on a rain team is still better than nothing. And it can learn Moonblast and Psychic, and both of those moves hit opponents super hard as well. There's some other really fun stuff that I'm excited to use with Musharna that I will not spoil here, but I'm very excited to show you guys in the future. And the final trade, which is definitely my most interesting trade, I think, based on what I've heard from a couple of other coaches, is Indeedee Male for Mimikyu. Now, the biggest thing about Indeedee in particular is its hidden ability Psychic Surge, which brings up Psychic Terrain, which not only powers up Psychic-type moves, but also cancels out priority moves, which Dracovish really benefits from, being one of its biggest weaknesses is priority moves. Not only that, but its combination of Normal and Psychic is a really good typing, getting rid of Ghost as a weakness to Psychic, and it has some really solid stats too. However, the biggest reason I decided to trade it off is because both of its typings were already repeated at this point, thanks to Diggersby's normal type and Musharna's psychic type. And not only that, but the Pokemon that I picked up instead, being Dolly the Mimikyu, gave me a Ghost and Fairy type, which I didn't even have a Ghost type on the original team, and I got rid of the Fairy type, being Slurpuff. This means I have a very good immunity versus normal, fighting, and dragon type attacks, as well as its broken ability to disguise, which basically gives me a free substitute. And while when you do break the substitute, it takes away an eighth of your HP, Mimikyu can still do a lot of stuff before it ultimately goes down, such as setting up Swords Dance. It can do other things as well. It can stall Pokemon with leftovers. It's a very talented and versatile mon that I think was definitely worth the trade. Which is actually another reason why I got Indeedee Male. Because Psychic Surge gets rid of priority moves, that also goes the same for me, so I can't use priority moves on a lot of my other Pokemon, which I just didn't really feel comfortable with. And that pretty much wraps up my team. I'm really excited to be using this team because I love using weather teams. I have a Saiyan team in the IBA Draft League for Season 1.5, which, by the way, I will be coming out with a breakdown of that draft next week, so be looking forward to that. And my gym team for the Phantom Michael's Gym League Challenge was a Fire-type team, which meant I ran Sun a lot with Torkoal. Not only that, but I was also giving a really good team, and while some of my trades might have been a little bit more questionable, such as Indeedee Male and Slurpuff, picking up mons like Quillfish makes my team, in my opinion, even more broken than it already is. I am so excited and honored to be a part of this league. I cannot wait to show these guys what I got. I cannot wait to show you guys what I've got in store for you, because let's just say it's going to be fun. Be sure to keep an eye out for my team preview going up later today, as well as the Week 2 battle, which, like I said earlier, I've already recorded. Be looking forward to that tomorrow. For those of you who are wondering where Week 1 is, Week 1 has already technically finished, so instead of battling my Week 1 opponent this week, I'll be battling him in Week 8, which would be just normally a bye week. All Eon World Tournament battles will be going up on Sunday, so during the weekend, at least now until early June, you guys will be getting two Draft League battles from me, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. Again, I'm really excited and honored to be a part of this Draft League. I cannot wait to get started with these battles. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. Let me know what you guys think of my team down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys thought of my trades and things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also be sure to check out my my social media links, such as Twitter, Discord server for the Homedawgs squad, Instagram, and Twitch, where I live stream Monday through Saturdays, unless something comes up. You guys get it, you guys are smart. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you dudes in the next video. Peace out, mates!